Hello Survivor, and welcome to Chaos Cabin Gaming. I've got some great in-game video for you today, and we'll roll it here in just a moment. Today's video is about building a forge, and the forge is the first thing you need to build early game. It is the key to everything else, quite honestly, and I feel remiss that I haven't done one on this earlier. But watch the video, and if you have any questions or comments, put them down below. Here we go. Let's take a look at the parts we're going to need to build this forge. This can be found in your crafting menu on the first tab called Basics. Now we'll move to that alphabetically, and it's not here because we don't have all the parts ready for it, so we need to go to the grayed out section, and then we'll find Forge, and we can highlight it and it'll show us what we need. Now you'll notice right off the bat that what we're missing here is the bellows. So we'll have to back up a step and make the bellows. Bellows are under the Resources tab, and you'll notice that there's two bellows here and they're both grayed out. That's because one is made with leather and the other one out of animal hide, and we have 5 leather and 15 animal hide. We need 20 of one or the other. So what we'll do is we'll convert the animal hide into leather. You cannot make leather into animal hide because that's just going backwards. So I will highlight the animal hide and then press the left on the D-pad, and that'll take you to your recipes, and you see leather up there, and click on leather and click on the far right button to maximize how much you make, and then click up on the D-pad to make that leather. By the way, at the end of the video I'll put up a chart of all the parts you need, and you can screenshot that and refer to it as you're building this stuff. Also, I'll put the coordinates of a great place to collect a buttload of leather. Alright, once we get our leather made, we'll go back into the Resources tab. What you'll do here is click on it to refresh it, and bellows is up at the top. So highlight that and then click up on the D-pad to make the bellows. This takes a little while, so I'm going to jump ahead. Now I've got my bellows, so I'll go back to the Basics tab and once again select Forge. And now you can see that we have the 50 stone, 50 clay, 1 bellows, and 1 iron pipe that we need. So I'll click up on the D-pad to get this making. You can see it crafting down there in the lower left box. And again, I'll jump forward so we don't have to just sit here and watch this craft. Now I'll just move this into my hotbar, and I'll go look for a place to set this forge down, and we'll try it out. But first, of course, we'll need something to put in that forge. What do you put in a forge? Well, you put in stone, clay, iron, lead, brass, and sand. And you can make a wide variety of things out of that. That'll kind of be revealed as you go along. Just look in your menus. But for an example, the sand will be made into glass jars, so you can have an endless supply of glass jars by providing sand, and you can get that in the desert biome. Stone is used to make concrete, and iron is used to make forged steel and forged iron. Brass is used to make shell casings, and brass you can just find as you're looting in the form of doorknobs and candlesticks. Lead can be used to make bullets, and you can find lead either by mining it or scavenging it and finding it in the form of fishing sinkers and lead pipe and other things like that. Notice in the lower right hand corner as I smash this rock, you'll see the minerals I'm getting out of here. What we're seeing there is iron, rock, coal, nitrate, and I've seen some traces of lead go by as well. Now, as a side note, that white nitrate powder is nothing you'll ever use in the forge. However, it's pretty rare and extremely valuable. You may not use it early game, but later game, you'll use it to make gunpowder and fertilizer, and you'll need every bit of it you can find. So if you see it, grab it. Alright, regarding clay, I just want to show you real quick how to find it on the map, because it's a little tricky. But if you look on the map here, it's these brown patches. You see my cursor's aiming at it, and now I'm rolling my cursor over it. Right there's one, and there's one. And if you go there, you can just shovel up about as much clay as you want. I'll show you real quick here, but it's almost 2,200 hours, and we all know what happens then. I have a bad habit of being out here working until 2,200 hours, and then sometimes I get eaten by something. So I'm going to shovel a little bit of this up real quick and then get back inside. That's good. I'm going to fail. I'm going to set this forge over here next to the wall. You set a forge like you set any other block. You place it where you want it and then spin it around until you get it how you like it with the right trigger. And then when you have it the way you like it, you set it with the left trigger. I'm going to open this up and we'll take a look at some of the basic features and functions. I'm going to move this sand over into the smelting panel on the right, like this. Just drop it in there. You can smelt two things at once. Right now we're just going to smelt sand. Then I'll pick up some wood and I'll go up here to the fuel section. You can also use coal for fuel up here, by the way. I'm not going to put all of it in there because this doesn't shut off automatically, and so you want to put in just enough to do the job. And on sand, it's pretty much guesswork. There are some things that it's not guesswork. You can look at it, and I'll show you how to do that, and you know exactly how much wood to put in. For now, we'll just put in some and kind of keep an eye on it. If you see you're going to need to add some more wood, you'll have to put that in the secondary fuel spot, and then the third if that one is maxed out, but that's going to not happen for a long time, trust me. Notice in the smelting panel, on the right, the second one down, as the sand number decreases, the glass number increases. The glass you'll use to make jars and industrial windows and other things that are made out of glass. I cannot stress how important glass jars will be as you start cooking. Many recipes use a glass jar and it's destroyed during the cooking and you don't get it back. So being able to produce them at will is huge. Now if you look on the left side of this menu, you can see just a small number of the things you can produce with a forge. As you can see, all I can make right now is broken glass because I don't have the ingredients to make anything else. Here's a fun fact. You may be wondering what broken glass is good for in the apocalypse. Well, if you fall into the bottom of a well or a mine shaft or something like that, you will just stay there until you starve to death, which may take a day or two in-game. Or you can eat broken glass and unalive yourself, as they say nowadays, and you'll respawn. In either case, you'll respawn. One way is just much quicker. I've smelted some iron and some clay. Not a lot, but enough to do a quick demonstration here. If you look at the panel on the right, the smelting panel, you can see the amounts of resources I have in there. If you look on the left at the menu of things that I can make, you'll see that nothing is grayed out, indicating that anything in that list can be made with just iron and clay. And bear in mind, that's just the first page of that menu. Notice that I've got glass jar selected over here in the item menu. Before I can make that though, I'll have to put some fuel in the forge, and I'm using wood right now. I'll put more than I need in there because I'm going to make several items, and I'll just turn the forge on and off manually as needed. Alright, that took almost no time at all. I will just shut this off manually and move that glass jar over into my inventory. Next, I'm going to go up here to ammo and weapons and select iron arrowhead. Now notice that when I attempt to craft this iron arrowhead, The craft button is grayed out, indicating I am missing something. The problem is I have not crafted the iron anvil yet. I'll do that right now. Notice that once I select anvil, it shows me in the center panel how long it's going to take to cook that item, and that way I can look in my fuel section and make sure I have enough fuel. If I don't, I can add it in the second slot. You can't add it in this first slot once the item is cooking. I'll skip ahead until the anvil is done. Now I need to move that anvil into the tool section on the top right of the menu. Now that I have the anvil in place, I'll be able to start cranking out tools, weapons, and building materials. I'll start with the cooking pot, because without that you cannot boil water in a glass jar. Now look at the lower left of the menu screen and you'll see that you can have 4 items making at once. If you look at the lower right, you can see that the output will hold 6 items, so you need to keep that cleared out or it'll stop everything. Man, the natives are restless tonight. Notice that I have no problem making the iron arrowhead. Alright survivors, that's it for how to build the forge and the basics on how to use the forge. But stick around, I'm going to show you a great place to get the hard to find leather and the parts list for the bellows and the forge. Alright, would you check out all this leather? This is in the police station in the northern section of the map. I will show you the map location right now. The police station also makes a pretty good base if you fortify it correctly. Now look right there next to the bed icon towards the top of the map, and you can see 1750 north by 510 west. But I'll tell you now, you may have to fight them for it. Okay, well that should be everything you need to know about a forge, so go out and build one and just go forge the hell out of everything. If you have any questions, leave them down below. If you have any comments, leave them down below. If you got any tips for us, share it with everybody down below. Until then, like, subscribe, share, and keep your blood on the inside.